The 23rd installment of Spice and Wolf, and things are in a weird situation for us now. Somebody has, unfortunately, I believe they died. I think that's what they said. I actually can't remember. I think it was a death. I don't think it's just an illness, which is absolutely not a good thing coming directly from the wheat and stuff sold within this village, and there's going to be some problems. Guesses and beliefs is a potential framing, potential used as some sort of device for them to invade, for them to figure out and prove the things that they're trying to prove, for them to get out of this contract, essentially. So lots of like things that they're trying, I think, mainly to get themselves out of here, which we don't really want, especially as somebody who's grown closer to the people within the village and everybody, right? Like, you don't want to necessarily see this and see all the hard work and stuff done by Father Franz come to a complete like stop here. So we're not in the greatest spot, and I think that there is potential that that is the case, that they were for him. There is potential that this is all just a misunderstanding. Who absolutely knows? But I do think that they're setting something up along those lines. So my assumption would be we probably leave the village. We probably utilize Lawrence and Hollow, and we go adventure into another area, and we start kind of questioning and figuring out some more, laying some more things out, and then hopefully we gain our answers and can do whatever it is that we need to like prove innocence in some sort of way, or get at least get ourselves out of this and protect the people within this village. I think that's really all that we're headed towards. But hopefully there's a lot of cool stuff in between that. Hopefully you guys enjoy. If you like it all, like and subscribe to me. Feel free to stick around for the discussion. Leave any comments about this episode or series. Let's go on episode 23 of Spice and Wolf. Say that again.
時期に正式な使いが来るだろうが、エンベルクは村に麦を送り返すつもりだ。送り返すって。
I mean, if one of them's bad, everything's bad.
金も返さなくてはならない。
Which is not ideal.
どうすりゃいいんだ。豚や鳥を買っちまったし、鎌や好きな種類に金を使っちまった。
それだけじゃないだろう。今年は大豊作だったからね。私んとこで仕入れた酒や食べ物も上等だった。そこにもあんたらの金が使われてる。
So what do you do in a situation where you spend the money that you need to return?
どこにまだ毒が紛れているかわからない以上、今年収穫された麦はすべてもう食べることができない。
Yep.
麦を混ぜたのはこいつらだ。麦を持って村に来たというじゃないか。そうだ。あんた粉を引きに水車小屋に行ったよな。
I just tired it all out of us.
そうだ。あの嘘つきはどこに行った。どっちも縛り上げてどこの麦に毒を混ぜた。
Right, yeah.
女の出る幕じゃねえ。スカンダル。
なんだって？
That's the priest right there.
エヴァンは教会にいます。
エンベルクはこれを機に村と町の関係を向か。
That's exactly what they're trying to do. That's why we don't know. We have to assume that they're trying to frame us, but at the same time, death is kind of crazy, so...
エルサじゃ無理だったんだ。舐められて当然じゃないか。そうだそうだ。一日中教会にこもって畑にも出ないくせに。今年の
This is what they want. This is what they want. They want you to turn against each other. Calm down.
の後に振り分けた金と冬の備蓄がどれだけあるか確認してくれ。エンベルクの使いが来るのは早くとも夜明け頃だろう。我々も一度解散する。
Yeah, make her feel like shit, and then after all this plays out, you're gonna be like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. Yeah, I ain't gonna fuck with you.
エルサと教会へ決起に流行ったものが押しかけてくるかもしれん。
任せときな。
We need the strength.
私も村の者たち同様、あなたを疑っている。
That's incredibly valid.
すぐに決めつけるほど愚かだとは思わない。
Thank you. What a good guy.
私がセムソン
The boy Sem.
同じことを言うでしょう。
あなた方の身の安全とこれ以上我々の疑念を深めないために私の家に来ていただき。
エンベルクがテレを支配したいがための自作自演としか思えない。
Likely.
麦に毒を混ぜた犯人を突き出せば金を返すのを待ってやろうとな。
Yep.
主はそれに甘んじる気かや？
まさか。
逃げれば毒を混ぜたと認めるようなもの。主
Right.
は人相書きが出回り。
俺の証人としての生命は一貫の終わり。
I like how they're using the snake as well as like something in front of them, like they're having a conversation with this god.
見合いにか。それができれば。ああ、そうか。 お前の背に乗れば馬より早く別の町に逃げられるか。
You could.
当然じゃ。
毒麦を使った商人が出たなんて話は立場上村人から常に疑われ、いつでも毒麦を混入できるエヴァンだろ
Yep.
ならばそれも背に乗せればよい。
う。だが
But then it just keeps falling down to somebody else. You can't carry everyone.
たわけのお人よしじゃからね。
Yeah.
まったくめんどくさい。
すまないが助かる。
あなた方エンベルクから頼まれてきたのではないのですか？
確かにエンベルクには立ち寄りましたが、旅の通過点の一つです。私たちはあくまでも私たちの目的のために D エンドラン修道院を探していました。
We got the faraway villages. No, no, no.
私たちはエンベルクとこの村の争いには全く関係していません。
Nor could we care
私
less
が争い
about
について
it.
把握できたのはこの村で見聞きしたこと、それに自身の経験からです。
本当に関係がないのですね。
本当です。
You gotta take advantage of this old man.
もしもそうならば知恵とお金を貸し
Fuck no. Fuck no. We don't got any of that.
ません。あなた方の身の安全と引き換えに
脅しですか。
有無を言わさず縛り上げないのはロレンスさんが小麦を持って挨拶に来てくれたからです。
わかりました。というほかないようですね。ただし、もしも事態を挽回できた暁には、それなりの報酬を
I gotta work, but you gotta.
返された麦のお金を返すことができない。そこであちらは来年の麦を買うから、その代金を支払いに充てるよう要求してくる。
そ
Yep.
れはどういう？
来年実るはずの麦を今のうちから値段を決めて買うということ。その埋め合わせを再来年の麦でしなければならず、その繰り返しで年々苦しくなっていく。そうやって弱みにつけ込んで、最終的にはフランツ司祭が交わした契約も破棄するよう迫ってくるでしょう。
村に税金さえかからなければ、そう思って必死にフランス司祭の残したものを守ろうとしたの。
Yep. Gotta protect what the boy gave you.
エルサはエンベルクをすぐに疑ったようです。私は情けない。麦を買ってくれるところが
I wonder-
すれば安泰だと。それ以上のことが全く頭。
I wonder if somebody actually does die, though, or if they're just utilizing that as something. Like they're just telling us that that happened so that we just get thrown into a panic and are forced to, like, let someone over and do this without looking into much ourselves.
信頼はできませんが、信用はできます。この方たちは少なくともお祈りの仕方は心得ていますから。
わかったよ。
Thanks for giving us a shot.
どうぞ。あなたは外
Not you, buddy.
お願い。
There's some things you don't know.
エヴァン、これを落としたらどんな商人だって大泣きする財布だ。信用の証だと思って、エルサさんとしては今後私たちがどうなると思いますか？
Not great
エンベ
things.
ルクの描いた劇の流れを読めるのはエルサさんか、あるいはイーマさんくらいのものでは。
それとあなた方でしょう。
私たちは逃げようと思います。
たとえ馬があったとしても、あなた方二人が
She's literally a wolf.
私の連れが見た目通りの少女ならですね。
But you've already seen she's not.
本については今さら拒む理由がありません。ただ読む時間は
最低限目を通したいのは一冊。
祭壇の下に確信せ。あれだけ読めれば。
Can't believe they didn't, like, go and check out the entire place when they had the chance to. Back up.
まったく。祭壇の下に本があるらしいから取ってきて。
Make yourself useful.
あなた方が逃げるのを止めも進めもしません。ですが、それまで商いの知恵を貸していただけませんか？
ただ満足いく答えが出せるかは保証できません。
商人の方はそのセリフがお好きなようですね。
用心深いもの。
もう異教の昔話だ。おっと。
エルサさん、ちょっと失礼します。
I respect that so much, though. You know, just never give them a proper, proper answer or anything. Don't give timelines or anything. Don't give certainties on anything.
ッチの涙なら主が喜んで高く買ってくれるからの。主の前で流さんとそう。
Freaky shit.
宝石なら偽物に注意しないとな。
しばらく一人で読ませてくれれ。
感想は聞かせてくれ。
She said alone.
返品されたら70リマーは足りないと。
70リマー。大金ですね。
You can't afford
足りないのはそれ
that.
だけじゃありません。
Don't you don't ask.
食べられなくなったので、食料を買うためにもお金が。父が残した契約さえあれば、こんなことにはならないと思っていたのに。
Well, they shouldn't. We're literally being set up.
その恩恵の凄さを全く理解していなかった。
父から聞きました。よその村は農作業のない冬も必死に内職に勤しんでいると。村の土地を奪われないよう少しでもお金を稼げるように。なのにここは。
Everything's so laid back.
ですが、今は嘆いていても始まりません。
はい、そうですよね。私が嘆いていては父にフランツ司祭に怒られ。
エルサさん。
エルサ
Also faints a lot. My God. Another one.
連中は俺とロレンスさんのことを疑ってるんだろ。
Yep.
そうだ。
アンツさんを恩人だなんて村の連中は言うけど、感謝なんてしたことねえんだよ。司祭の教えなんかには聞く耳持たず、村の昔からの神には山ほどのクモスをするのに、教会にはパンの一かけらもくれやしない。セム村長とイーマさんがいなければ、俺たちはとっくに飢え死にだ。
外の世界も確かに楽じゃないが、この村よりはマシかもしれない。あんたたち一体どうやって逃げる？
Don't worry about that.
ある日、山奥でビールの仕込みをしている乙女に出会う人間がいるのなら、ある日、同じくらい不思議な存在に出会う者がいてもおかしくはないでしょう。
妖精に出会ったとでも言うのか？
I guess. You done?
話はまとまったかや。
Have you finished reading?
わっちはもう目的を果たしんす。
そうか。
What you got for
気
us?
になるなら読んでみればよい。
Out.
ああ。土地の神々は一目散に逃げ出した。木の実が枝から落ちるほどの時間で、ヨイスは熊の爪によって引き裂かれた。
昔の仲間が無事逃げられたというだけでわっちは満足じゃん。他には何もありんせん。
世の中、本当にままならないな。
まったくじゃん。今回は主の大損じゃな。
仕方ない。小麦は持ち出すなんて無理だしな。持ち運びのできる高価なものなら、こういう事態でもどうにかなるんだがな。
いつだかの故障とかそうじゃろ。
ただ、香辛料以上に軽くて持ち運びのできる高価なものがある。
You.
信用だ。
Oh.
主からの信用が高くなったら売りに出さんとな。
俺がお前にからかわれすぎて疑心暗鬼になっていることを知っているか？
では取り戻しておこう。
こういう
来るんじゃないよ。奥に行ってな。
No, we're good. We're good.
私が出て説得を。
バカ言うんじゃないよ。
でも
あんたらはもうこの村にいたってダメだ。どこにいたって大変なら、せめて信用できる連れ添いと新しい生活をするべきだ。捨てなければならないものは多いけど、新しく手に入れられるものだって多いはずさ。
逃げたいです。任せよという代わりに一つ条件がありんす。これから先見ることは夜明け前の夢と思うことじゃ。
Speak of it to no one. Think of it as it's a dream. Yes.
任せるがよい。ただわっちは主らを連れておっても外の連中を軽々飛び越えられるが、主らがそれに耐えられるかわかる。故郷が明日にでも消えてなくなるわけじゃあるまいしの。あるだけマシじゃ。
おや、妖精さんもかい？
妖精みたいなひ弱な連中と一緒にするで、わっちはこれ以外の人の形になれぬ。
それは残念だ。俺はもう少し豊かな体つきの方が好きだからな。あ、痛い。
さっさと地下室を開けぬか。
Oh no, the tunnels. The underground. This is like the third time we've had to go through something underground.
はい。
Do we have any way of barricading this though, so that they don't come back and find it? Another escape? Who would have thunk? Like the 5th time, it feels like. That's serious. Another underground area? Who would have thunk? To be honest though, escaping really wasn't on my cards going into this. They play it out nicely to make it make sense, like plenty of sense, and it's like it's one of those things where, like, in a lot of shows you'll watch and you'll be like, why are you doing this? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Why are you doing that? And you just wish that they would do something else. That's kind of what they're doing in this situation. So it's like kind of pleasant to see, you know. It's usually like, oh, why are you trying so hard to defend and fight for these people and prove like the innocence of yourself or the others and all this stuff, when you could just leave and then you could get to an area and be protected and not run into any problems. Like, why are we doing, you know what I mean? Like, why don't we just do that? So it makes plenty of sense. So there's no real complaint there. The only thing that like gets me is just the idea that, like, knowing we have 2 episodes left, just I find it so hard to believe that we either get away completely fine and just go somewhere else, or that we don't immediately go back to Enbridge, or we don't come back here as a result of something, or we don't try to get to the bottom of these things more and expose people or do whatever. Like, I don't know. That was my assumption the entire time, was that we were going to travel there and we were going to prove whatever we need to be able to like free ourselves in the village and uphold all of this stuff. And I feel like, especially at the point of the show that they're in now, and especially like just everything, it just doesn't, it feels off. Like, it feels like they still plan to almost do that, or they're going to get like, somebody's going to catch them trying to run away, or something's going to come up, or just like whatever's going to happen, and then they're going to get forced into this, or they're going to willingly choose that they want to do this, or whatever happens. I'd be pleasantly surprised if they decide to fully commit to this, escape, go to another town, and then we just kind of end off having like good times between people. Like, I don't see that, because there's no way that they're going to propose like a whole new like issue on something within like a single episode or something, you know. Like, that just doesn't really make too much sense for them to do. So we'll have to, I guess, see how they choose to play that. But yeah, wasn't really expecting that to be the case. But if I'm being honest, like, almost everything else that kind of went down, and by everything else I just mean the idea that they were going to be framed, that they'd be able to pass everything off on Evan if Lawrence isn't the one that they have the capabilities of being able to frame, trying to push this onto somebody else, the fact that Enrich is going to come in and they're going to try and make this deal, or trying to not make this deal, but essentially frame what's going on onto somebody within this village, to be able to cause some sort of issue with financial situations and a whole bunch of other stuff that ends up allowing them to break through this contract that they end up having and everything that was set up by Father France previously, and allow them to, you know, no longer be at a disadvantage when it comes to this. Like, all of that stuff, I think, really just got explained in more like in actual detail, and tracked completely from realistically what my mindset on most of that was. So we're just kind of still going with the motions almost. So with that being said, for the most part though, I don't know if I really have too much I want to even say. There's probably like hidden stuff, of course there always is, like within here, to make like theories and guesses and stuff on, but like I don't know, like I'm not gonna sink into like single lines of dialogue, because I'm not too certain exactly. Like, none of them in particular like really stood out to me as like, oh, they could be meaning something here, you know, and they may have been multiple of them, but none of them particularly I think really make me want to go back into. Big props to Lima here. She's great for being able to stand up for Elsa and protect these people, and not just give in to this mob mentality that everybody else seemingly is. Same thing with Sam. And also I think like the fact that we are running away and we are taking Elsa with us is, and even Evan, is I think a really good thing. It allows for Evan to kind of get like a fresher start and not have all these people almost have it out for him, even though I don't think they had a problem with him. It was more of his profession and the things that he needed to do. But it also allows Elsa to as well. And at the same time, we literally just see in this entire scenario here, they start framing and like putting blame onto other people and then calling her names and saying all this. It's like, do you want to protect these people and come back to and be okay with it? Like, some people are like, you were just caught up in, you know, the moment and the emotions were getting the best of you, or you were just looking looking out for whatever's like best for you and a variety of things. But like me personally, if I had to sit here and everybody immediately started shifting blame and started like calling me names and basically targeting me in a desperate time of need, to me it more so just shows their true character as opposed to like a act of like desperation or something like that, which I guess is also contributed in some sort of way to who they actually are. And we end up seeing that. So it's like they clearly have some sort of way that they view her and feeling towards her that like, I don't know if I want to come back to this village and feel safe in any sort of way when I do so, you know, like I don't know if these are the people that I necessarily want to surround myself by. So like if I'm them, I take up this opportunity too and get the hell out of here and say, all right, screw you, y'all figure this out, y'all deal with it, y'all be broke. Like I got places to go. That's kind of how I would feel. Sem suspicious of everybody. Naturally, it makes plenty of sense. We discussed this here. I really like having the snake kind of in front of us here, almost as if we are having like this conversation, or we are like confessing these things, or like just explaining the way that we feel directly to it based on the scenario that happened. Who would take blame if we just run away? And you start realizing there's just a line, there's an order of people that it kind of goes down, and somebody's gonna have to take it on when you're gone. But the thing is, can you get away and like not think about that? Can that not weigh on you? Can you not feel guilty for the rest of your life knowing that you're just probably passing it down onto somebody, and then planning it out? Is there an opportunity or some sort of way that we're able to go out of our way and we're able to take these people with us to the point that maybe they don't have somebody else to turn against, and if they do, they're not somebody that we've grown in any sort of way or relation to? Tell me you didn't directly come from here. And he's truthful for the most part, doesn't really lie basically about anything. He's like, I can do what you want, but like you gotta realize I'm not trying to get all into all of this. Give me time, let me look into this, let me figure out what I gotta do, see if there's something I can do. If there's not, I'm gonna get out of here. But just give me this opportunity and trust me. And I like the little detail of like Sem being like, the only reason I helped you out is because you ended up bringing this to me, like giving like a gift in some sort of way. Just showing overall kindness and being open to these people, I think, is something that is very important, especially to him, as he ends up seeing. So he wants to give you that benefit because you went out of your way and make some sort of effort when it comes to him as well. It's crazy because Elsa suspected the exact same thing. So maybe there's some sort of way. Maybe there's a reason why they're doing this. Yeah, there absolutely is. We're safe for the night, so we kind of need to have this conversation. Doesn't want Evan to know because you can't really give off any of this info just yet about Hollow or anything. So you gotta take our time and do what you want. We're probably just gonna run away. I think that's the best plan. We got a big old wolf and we're able to do something that will be able to do this. We got to go read the book, though, and we got to figure out the rest of our info while we are here. The book that we had kept hidden. You lend me your wisdom. I don't know if I can give you something you're saying. That's so funny to me. It's literally just, he'll tell you, but like I can't promise it's a good thing, you know? Like I can't make any promises on this. Classic of a merchant, of course. Hollow runs, she reads all alone. Some cute stuff overall between them, and I think the conversations that each of them have. Elsa's a little bit ruined about the whole scenario and everything that's going on. And talking about the way that things have worked within this village. We talked about before how comfortably they can live based on this contract and everything, but at the same time, that allows them to not have to work throughout the winter, that allows them to not have to do these things and just kind of relax and enjoy themselves plenty. But now all of that stuff ends up catching up to them in the time of need of spending all of this in preparation for future years. You're going to end up finding yourself without a full year's worth of profit or any sort of revenue at all. And here comes a big, big problem at hand, right? And everything is basically destroyed because nobody wanted to actually take this thing that they were given, this great thing that they were given by Father France, and actually go out of their way and do something useful with that. And they just kind of wanted to live and kick back, but also still not follow completely in who he was in any sort of way, which is like really interesting. Elsa faints again for the second time we ended up getting. By the way, we're gonna get out of here, buddy, so if you want to come. They've always given their god a ton of offerings, but they don't give it to the church, people who are on completely different areas of what exactly it is that they believe in and whatever they're willing to. There's certain people here who basically keep things together. Everybody else is just kind of pieces of shit overall, and the ones that we've met are the good ones. I'll convince Elsa, but we gotta get on out of here. There's a fairy that could more or less help us. We end up learning a little bit about Hollow and her way back home. The bear basically came and fucked everything up, but at the same time, for the most part, it seems like people were able to flee, which is a great thing, you know, to learn that not everybody was possibly murdered in this scenario and they were able to get off a little bit safe, which is, I think, like a sigh of relief almost for her, despite possibly losing that hometown, just knowing that and knowing that there's nobody or nothing to return to. The idea that there may be people out there who are possibly doing the same thing or out there somewhere that you can end up meeting that are from there, I think is still a wonderful thing for her to be able to kind of learn and can end up freeing up a little bit. Satisfied to hear that they get away. Things don't go as you wish, but like at least you got something, you know, because it could have been the entire village and everybody getting murdered at the exact same time, which necessarily isn't too great of a thing. Everybody comes in. I love how she just starts fucking banging on the door, calms them down, gets them out of here. Y'all are good. Y'all can't stay here any longer, though, and the new journey must begin as we move forward and explain our scenario. They're caught off guard at first. Like, there's not too much of a reaction, which I feel like there should be maybe a little bigger one, but also I guess it could just come down to, like, they're not, like, completely non-believers in any sort of way, right? Like, and they're just people who are willing to, like, openly accept these things and have their hearts open to it. So it works out for them. I like how they talk. It's not as though it'll disappear. It'll still exist. And they start, like, utilizing all these things, too. That contribute to each of the scenarios, basically. Like, all the words that come from one party directly are towards, like, Hollow and Lawrence's relationship, whereas their own words end up reflecting in some sort of way with, like, Elsa and everybody else within the village, which is nice and fun. We go down into the basement, we break through the walls, and we end up getting out of here. I wonder if there's, like... I wonder how far the path goes, where exactly it all leads to, if there's any sort of way that we can barricade this, because I feel like people are going to barge their way if they really want to get in there and get Lawrence. They'll be able to break into this church and they'll be able to find it and then trace through this. Is there anything that they can do to kind of prevent a possibility of that actually happening? I don't know. But they move on out and we end up having to wait to figure out what exactly is to come. If I really had to make a guess of where what happens, something happens where either they have a change of heart, or I don't think that's actually going to be the case, but I think like something happens where they end up coming out and they end up going to Enbridge and they end up figuring out and getting down to the bottom and kind of exposing the scenario maybe at hand here. Maybe there isn't actually anything and they're just utilizing this as like some sort of example that they're trying to put off on them to take advantage of them, and nobody actually died, or there isn't any issue with the wheat, or they got it from somewhere else and they can prove it in some sort of meaningful way, and they do something that kind of protects them. Maybe actually the possibility that we go somewhere and meet up with other members like of Rowan and stuff and able to use wisdom and stuff through them to be able to figure this out. But I just feel like this isn't like a situation that has been really solved, and there's still things that they will probably want to touch on, and we will have to somehow come to that conclusion within the next couple episodes. So we'll end up having to see. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, though. If you like it, like and subscribe to the Monster, feel free to check out the videos and channel. Leave comments with this episode of series. I'll be back for episode 24 very soon. I'm gonna try and finish it this week. I've been so like just lazy overall with watching things. I'm sorry. But yeah, hopefully you guys have a great one. Peace.